A federal program introduced at the beginning of the pandemic, helping those struggling to buy food and groceries, is coming to an end. Northern News Now's Larissa Millis visited a local food bank to learn how this decision will impact our community.
Getting food on the table might soon become more difficult for thousands of Northland families.
Right now, we have over 20,000 individuals on SNAP in the St. Louis County alone, so this is going to have a significant impact countywide.
The federal government is ending its Emergency Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or eSNAP, which was introduced in the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a second monthly payment in addition to typical SNAP payments, which help qualifying households pay for food and groceries.
Monthly budgets are going to be impacted by this. The minimum amount was $95 a month that a household would be eligible for, up to hundreds of dollars. So some may be impacted by $600, $700, $800 a month that they will no longer be receiving, that they have received for the last 3 years.
Regional food leaders are expecting increased need as a result.
The Second Harvest Northern Lakes Food Bank is the only food bank in the region. They distribute food to over 135 feeding programs throughout northeast Minnesota and northwest Wisconsin.
So certainly this impact is critical to local families right now. We know that there's a high cost of groceries, so dollars are stretching even less far at the grocery store.
40 area food shelves are serviced by Northern Lakes. Last year, the region's food shelves were seeing a nearly 40% increase in use already.
And we would expect it's going to climb well beyond 40% at this point, because that was really a reaction to some other pandemic supports that had been put in place. So now this is another one. So we do expect need to grow.
Final payments of the eSNAP program will be sent in March. In St. Louis County, Larissa Millis, Northern News Now.
And the eSNAP program is ending because of the Consolidated Appropriations Act, recently signed by President Biden, which declared the program would end as the pandemic has waned and more people return to work.